Hey everybody, welcome to Etrailer.com. I'm Bob, and today we're taking a look at the Kuat NV 2.0 here on our 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe. So this is going to be the premium bike rack of choice here at Etrailer.com, and why that is, you're getting an amazing amount of premium features, and Kuat does a pretty good job of looking good while they do it. However, it doesn't just stop at looks. You are going to have a 60-pound weight capacity per bike, allowing you to carry almost any bikes out there, which is excellent. Now, a lot of e-bikes are going to have an A-OK time with this guy as well. If your e-bike is starting to get just a little heavier, though, you could look at something like the Curt 2-bike platform rack for electric bikes, or something like the Yakima OnRamp if you're wanting a little bit more assistance getting those heavier bikes up there. However, that 60 pounds means we're going to have an A-OK time getting most of our mountain bike, especially with like those 48-inch wheelbases out there, which is excellent. And it is also excellent for your carbon frame bikes. Why I say that? Because we just have a front tire hold on the Kuat here. So as long as you have one good front wheel, you're going to have an A-OK time getting your bike on here. And why I like that, if you do have any carbons bikes, women's bikes, step-through bikes, kids' bikes, we don't have to worry about any of those pesky frame mount issues. All we have to do, clamp onto that front tire hold, and we'll have an excellent job of actually securing our bike. And it does a great job as well. I really like how this becomes. You can see it's almost one with the carrier. And therefore, we're not going to have any interaction with our bike making contact with the other bike or vehicle. Nothing like that. Going to stay nice and pretty, ready for the ride. Now, looking at the cradles themselves here, you can see we do have that front cradle with that standard 18C standard groove going down the middle, widening out for some of our wider base tires, which is excellent. Now, the one thing I'll say to that, on the other end here, where our adjustable cradle is, which is really nice for the versatility, allowing you to get a variety of different bikes on here and swap them out. You can see here, now on the back side, we have this ability to actually change all the way up and out, which is great. Now, the straps themselves, though, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, really aren't that large. So if you do have your wide base tires out there, nice that we have the width requirement, especially here on the platform, very wide. The only thing, though, not a lot of strap length on there, and that can definitely be a hindrance to some. Now, here on the side, we also do have a cable lock that becomes secured on both ends of your platform. So, really nice that you get independent locking there. So if you do have one bike, a little easier to get in place. But if you have two, then both of them are also being secured. Now, the awesome feature about the NV here is it can actually tilt away while it's still here on the back of your vehicle. To do that, simply bring yourself to the middle here. We're going to have this little lever, pretty easy to reach to, even if you had a second bike. All you got to do, pull that like so. And that allows you to tilt your bike all the way down. Of course, if you guys have a little bit of heavier bikes on there, let's make sure we are watching our backs, not straining it. But now that allows me to get here, open up that hatch. Now I get those bike helmets, coolers, anything else I might need from the inside. Makes those gas station stops a lot easier, or at the very least, doing a little errand run before your trip didn't become half so bad. Now all you have to do, walk that up. It's going to lock in a position. What I like about that, no pins or clips I have to worry about. That lever locks itself, and it is nice and secure, which is great to see. Well, to get our bike off isn't going to take too much time. Before we do so, though, let's see how it's interacting here with our Santa Fe. So, definitely seeing a little bit of taillight interaction here. However, very good distance between that. So I think the admittance is still going to be fine. Everybody's going to know when we're coming to a stop. You also have that top cowling. The one thing to keep in mind here in the rear window, definitely seeing our seat posts and our handlebars starting to impact that vision a little bit. Now, that's almost going to be almost any carrier out there. You might find something that sits a little bit lower, but then you're having clearance issues. So really what you're seeing here is what you're going to get on a variety of other carriers, and it's definitely not too bad. We still have a lot of visibility to see out of it. But to get our bike removed, all we have to do, press in on our lever to release our straps on that rear wheel. And that does bring us to our last hold on our bike here. Let's make sure we're doing a good job of holding onto it. Don't want that tilting into our vehicle or ourselves to cause any damage. All I have to do, press on that lever. That allows me to take that up. Of course, without it, that guy's not moving, and that secures your bike. Now all I got to do, simply grab it, walk it out, and I'm all ready to ride. So the one thing about mounting it, which is pretty cool, sometimes these straps like to get in your way on a variety of other carriers. For these guys, what I find myself doing, just dipping that lower wheel or that rear wheel picking it up, setting it in, and then you can actually start securing that cradle. So really not too bad. Very, very easy to self-load, even if you're loading up 2 bikes. And that's something I like about it, right? Convenience is huge. Now again, for those heavier bikes out there, you might look at some other measures of just making it a little easier. But that's giving us a pretty good idea of how that works. Now let's go ahead and see how it's interacting here and what kind of dimensions we're working with. So big one is going to be our clearance to the ground. So we have our extra repair stand here that's adding just a little bit of extra length to our NV. So from the ground to the underside of that is putting us at 22 1/4 of an inch. Now that's very good clearance here. You can see our inner assembly gives us a very nice rise away from that hitch. Definitely don't think we're going to have any issue there, which is great. If you do find yourself approaching a very steep incline, you can always take it nice and slow though. Keep in mind, as those front wheels go up, the back will go down. So we're a hitch mounted accessory. So that's something to always watch out for. But let's see how much length we're working with here from the back of our bumper here today to the end of our carrier. That's putting us at 29 3/4 of an inch, really about 31 inches the end there, guys. And that's accounting for your repair stand there as well. And we do have a way of actually shortening down that length. We're gonna bring ourselves back to that lever we were just at. And instead of tilting down, I'm just simply tilt it up into position right here. What I like about this, really, really secure. You're almost gonna have no movement. Not gonna be hearing it rattling on the back of your vehicle, which is great. And that shortened down that length a ton. Now from the back of our bumper here to the very end of our carrier, that's putting us at 14 inches or right underneath it. So definitely a lot of that length getting shaved down. That's going to make it easier to pull this in some of our tighter parking spaces, especially just actually pulling in the garage, which can be great. Moving our way down though, we do have a 2-inch shank here today, held in of course by our 2-inch hitch receiver. On the inside of that, you're just seeing a little alignment pin and a locking core on there. Now that locking core will also be keyed alike to your independent cable locks on each of your platforms, making it a lot easier to manage that key ring if you're like me. Always nice to have them nice and reduced. And where the real work's being done though is right here on the front. This is our anti-rattle knob, and it does an excellent job of securing a cam on the inside of our shank. And as you can see, this is going to take out all the shake and play that we're going to have. Our vehicle is going to be moving in tandem with our carrier, and that is taking all that shake and play we naturally would have and reducing it down, making for a smoother ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and our bikes, which is great to see. On the very inside of that too, you do have an insertion point for your included tools, and that makes it a lot easier to really cinch this down, especially if you find yourself either leaving on your vehicle a lot or just going on those longer road trips. We don't want to test it out and make sure that it's nice and secure every 50 miles or so. You can just tighten it down and it's ready to rock and roll. But we do have one last little feature here. I know the Kuat just keeps on giving. Here on the NV, we have our repair stand as well. So a little lever is going to allow me to open that up. I can also bring it out if I need to. And this allows you to open this up, set your bike on here, and start doing some repairs no matter where you are. So that way, you get to your destination, you make sure your bike's ready to go. No bike gets left behind. Everybody goes home happy, which is great to see. So that's something you don't really need, but you like all the other features you're seeing here on the Kuat. One thing you could also look at is the Kuat NV base. That basically is everything you're seeing here today, except that repair stand. It does come in a matte black as well. And talking about other colors, the NV also comes in black, which can be a great option. However, I really do like the gunmetal gray as you're seeing it. Has some really nice highlights, and it's just an excellent way of highlighting your bike. Your bike rack and those bikes on top of it. Overall, really, really great system though here. You really can't beat the Kuat NV 2.0. Now, if you're looking at this and you're like, man, those bells and whistles are nice. I don't know if I need all of that. One you could also look at is going to be the Rocky Mounts Monorail 2-bike platform rack. That is pretty much the same system you're seeing here. A little less bells and whistles, as I said, but a little more simplistic, a little more manageable, and I really do like how that system works. But again, can't quite beat the Kuat NV here, but I guess I'll leave that up to you guys at home. Do like how it's sitting here on our Santa Fe in this position too, not really interacting with our taillights. I think this repair stand, honestly, is going to be the biggest thing holding up that backup camera, albeit probably going to lose a lot in that southern hemisphere. But otherwise, I think that about does it, guys, for our look here today at the Kuat NV 2.0 2-bike platform rack here on our 2017 Hyundai Santa Fe. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.